I'm sitting in studio with the editor of Country Life magazine, Nita Hazell. Welcome to studio, Nita.
Thank you very much, Warren. Nice to be here.
Marvelous.
Today.
We're talking about Country Life's favorite sort of out of the way spots, the places where people should be going now before the crowds hit them too hard. Yep. So obviously this is going to be quite broad ranging and not to put you under any pressure, but
yeah. You know, the country is obviously big, and I find city people, they want to get out into the countryside, but they don't want to be, they're not quite used to the quietude and the serenity of the countryside. So they want to go somewhere, but they still expect to get great restaurants,
buy bagels and whatever in the spa. Yeah.
And that's what I would suggest. I mean, if you want to go somewhere in the countryside, have a look at the diary pages or see when the festival. Every little town in the country has a festival.
Right.
So, look at that lineup and get out there when there's a festival so that at least there will be people, there will be food. And that's how you get to know the little towns in the countryside.
Okay.
Otherwise, I mean, we had a farm in Memel, and that's one of my favorite little places in the Eastern Free State. But I remember sitting in the pub there one day, and the pub in the hotel is where everybody congregates to watch rugby or do whatever. And the woman next to me said, she's read so much about Memel, but there's really nothing going on here. And I said to her, there is nothing, only two of the roads are tarred, but it's the people. So you have to get to know the people, and that is where the magic of the countryside is.
I think you're just saying you have to go to the pub is what I'm hearing, Nita. That's, if you have to get to know the people and all the people are at the pub, then I'm reading between the lines here quite strongly.
That's not a bad place to be, but what I'm saying is you need to meet the people in the countryside. Right. And if you just drive there in on any weekend, you might not meet anybody because everybody's doing what they do on a weekend. So go when it's a festival.
Okay.
You'll meet the people. You'll get, you'll eat the food. You'll know about the activities, or go on a route. Take a drive. Go in the Midlands Meander, or the one that I still want to do is the Quickerboom food and wine route up in the Northern Cape.
That sounds great.
So you go to little places like Kemus and Rimfasmark, and you meet the people and you eat. You can even go for a brandy tasting or wine tasting.
Well, let's slow down. What are your favorite festivals? What are the ones that people should go and look for? I mean, obviously people know about the sort of beer festival in Clarence.
Yeah, the big ones are, and that's what I say. I think city people like Clarence. They like Greyton. They like Hermanus. They like Franschhoek because there's always something happening. But those are big towns. We're looking at the little ones.
Right. So which are the smaller sort of festivals people should look out for?
As I said, every little town has a festival, and it goes on right throughout the year. Okay. For instance, the Karoo. I think the Karoo is a great place.
Okay.
But it's 40% of South Africa, and it even has two ports, Port Nolloth and Alexander Bay. So, there's a whole lineup. For instance, New Bethesda even has a festival, which in late September. Let's see what's coming up at the moment. There's the Williston, which is also in the Karoo. That's on at the end of August. There's the Calvinia Vleis Festival, which is on in August. The Shriner Writers Festival. So, in the Karoo alone, one of my favorites would probably be the Prince Albert Olive Festival.
Okay.
And now I haven't got a clue when it's on. But that and that little town, Prince Albert, seems to be absolutely, there's a revival. They've even opened a new theatre there. Now, a little place like, Prince Albert in the Klein Karoo, I think that would be a fantastic place to go to a festival.
There seems to be a little bit of that theatre kind of move, because I know there's the Voorkamer Theatre Festival in Darling, for example.
In Darling as well, yes. Darling is also, the West Coast. I think there are lots of little places on the West Coast. Everybody knows Pater Noster. They don't have a festival, but Darling, just across the road, they've got a festival. So have a look at the calendar, link up things, and meet the people.
All right, and then you're saying the other way to do it is to pick a route, is to drive down a route and just hit all the small towns kind of one after each other. And you were talking about this one in the Northern Cape. What does that go through?
Well, that goes, if you're traveling up from Cape Town to Namibia, which is the N7, you would take what did they say? A slow right or and you would get to it. It runs basically from Uppington to Agrabis.
Okay.
So there are lots of things. There are Travelz waterfall to see. There's and it's called the Green Kalahari because it's on the Orange River, and although it's arid, that part of the world, the Kalahari, there's a green pocket. I think there are something like 100 little islands, green islands,
Right.
and that's where they have the vineyards and and so drive through there and make a trip of it. Stop. I think our big thing is, and I'm just as guilty. If you're going somewhere, you put foot and you
That's
never
right.
stop to smell the daisies or the fynbos or whatever, and I think just add on a day or two wherever you're traveling to.
Okay.
Add on a day or two and just stop. Don't make too many plans, or don't, these days every little job has at least 2 B&Bs, perhaps a hotel.
Right.
20 years ago when you traveled, you had to sort of arrange with Uncle so-and-so on his farm to stop over. Now, just go and explore the countryside. And you'll be amazed. I think often those, those finds, or those serendipitous finds are the most interesting.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, now you've mentioned the Karoo as obviously being a major part for out of the way towns. Where else in the country are we looking at? Is there anywhere maybe perhaps closer to Johannesburg, for instance?
Definitely. The Magaliesberg is lots to do in the Magaliesberg. If you go a little bit further up, closer to the Kruger, there's Graskop and all, the Pilgrim's Rest and that area around there. There's lots to do. The towns might not be that vibrant, but you just use them as a stopover. And from there, you explore the rest of the surrounding area.
Okay.
Yes, as I've spoken about the Northern Cape, mentioned the Karoo, but the Karoo is huge.
Yeah.
Mpumalanga and Limpopo north, even Cullinan, just on our doorstep is a lovely little spot to explore.
Actually, I was there. They've got a brewery now and some quite nice little restaurants and things.
Yes, lots of restaurants, and I think the bikers use it quite a bit.
That wouldn't surprise
It's a
me.
nice morning trip. You go and have
Right.
breakfast there, and you come back. But it's right on the doorstep. There's Paris. It's got one lovely little street, all full of antiques. But there's lots of other things to do. If you spend time there, you can go on the river, or you can do a trail or a hike or something like that, which is nice for the whole family to do.
Okay.
The Western Cape obviously is flooded with wonderful little places.
Right.
One of my favorites, and I don't know whether that's that well known, is Stanford.
Okay.
Stanford's about 15, 20, is that far out of Hermanus on the way to Gansbaai. Wonderful, vibrant community. They have, evening markets. It's fantastic for birding. There's some lovely restaurants, really five-star food that you can get there. So that is a lovely place that I would pick.
Okay.
In the Western Cape.
Well, fantastic. And then just quickly, let's chat about your current issue that's out on the shelves. What are the main stories? What can people expect buying Country Life this month?
That would be, at the moment, the August issue is on shelf. The September issue will be there next week.
Oh, okay. Do you remember what's on it? Because I know
know
you guys were.
Did you see my?
I know you work a few months in advance. Now I've just blown you away.
Show me the
Okay, well
cover.
we've got the August one here. We've got it's Bundu bashing in the Chobe. In Bedford, there's Hilton, market and farm stalls. So it sounds like it's a good batch, a good mix. But thank you very much for coming in, Nita. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. So it sounds like really the Karoo's.
I think it's just to get out there and make a weekend of it and discover our countryside.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
That was
thanks.
Nita Hazell, who's the editor of Country Life magazine.